So Dave Russ with ICCU, sharp dip in January that rebounded. This says single family rental rates. I think we mean interest rates. Similar to last month at 7.375, down from 8. 40% down, keep the rate down. Anything that's look pretty consistent what you're seeing out there for.
We're not on the conventional side, so,
that.
I mean, I follow what the rates are,
Yeah,
but that's not part of how we
sure.
are
I get it.
structuring.
And so Dave Rusk says the market is going strong, application and contracts are coming in steadily. I mean, when I talked to him, he said, oh, you know, gosh, it was a couple of weeks ago. He's like, woo, it's on fire, guys. Phones are ringing, I'm getting in naps and things are moving. A couple of examples are here where, you know, some of his clients that he's working with, multiple offers have to go way over the top to get it. We're seeing that in what we have. I mean, I think it all comes down if you price it right, you know, you're gonna see some multiple offers. If you try to start a little high and maybe it's not presenting itself that well, some deferred maintenance and whatnot, may not be the case. That listing that we showed earlier that was pending and closing, you know, that was an example. That property had a little hair on it and it wasn't flying off the shelves. But we used the strategy. We took it off the market during the holidays and come back, and guess what? That's what did her.
This kind of valley boy, the kind of good market.
Yeah, I don't follow the candy thing that much. You know, we'll have some slides here kind of showing that are a little flatter. Surprisingly, I don't know if that I can take the data and say why. Because I think price point's important. And usually in Kent County, you can get more for your money, but we are seeing, you know, what creates these trends? What makes people all of a sudden get excited? You know, it's, I guess, the weather. Springtime and the rates dropped and then kind of creeped up, but I think it kind of got everybody excited. And I don't know if everybody knows, but you know, all the discussions is rates will continue to drop throughout the year. So does that mean the prices are gonna go up? Probably. So I guess if you're ready to go, you're ready to go. So here is a graph that shows rates, home sales versus the rate. Don't know if you can really correlate the two based on that graph. So the rate started climbing. Yeah, just what, second quarter of 2022. Hopefully they keep going down. And in Ada County, $495 is a median price for existing homes, and if I can maybe make this screen go away. Let me see it. Yeah, there we go. New construction at $530. Both November and January's median price was up from the previous year. Days on market's down 24.3% from last year. Inventory is down 11.5%. You know, that's really been a struggle, is just the amount, the inventory, especially on multifamily. I mean, if you're looking for multifamily, you're not seeing it. And our 1.7 month supply of inventory suggests a seller's market, but beware. Buyers can't be pushed around. Buyers are still pretty discriminating as far as condition. You know, if they get in there and they see some things that need immediate attention, they're wanting some concessions. We're seeing a lot of first-time home buyers coming back in the market finally. They're really, really nervous, you know how those inspection reports are, and they are reading them and wanting a lot, and the sellers are pushing, but I think there's some compromises being made.
How are they doing on qualifying a lot of your first time buyers? Is it a struggle or?
Yeah, most of them, and a lot of them need a concession to help with closing costs. And so that's their hardest thing to get through, you know, sellers are like, oh my gosh, okay, so you need 3% credit for me at closing. Well, I don't, you know, I want to work off a net, right? I want to net this much. And so they're willing to go over. Okay, well, is it gonna approve? You know, are we gonna appraise at that price? And so that's the tricky part, but we're seeing a lot of it. And they're trying to find, and they're negotiating back and forth and finding some middle ground.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about another new problem that I didn't know was a problem until very recently. And I think it's gonna be a game changer for all of us. Not in a real positive way. Like last month's meeting where the CPA, everybody see that one? Well, he goes, oh, I got a surprise at the end of the presentation. And I don't remember what I had going on, but I was like, I'm gonna stick around for the surprise. And the surprise, I was expecting a good surprise. And man, when he gave that one out, I was like, are you kidding me? So anybody has the LLCs? Have you seen that? The FinCEN, so the feds now require you to go online and fill out all this documentation, and it's, I wrote an article, if you guys get the Swope newsletter, everybody get the Swope newsletter? And anybody that's not, I'll get you my card, and you can email me and I'll get you on the mailing list. But I wrote an article about it that, well, people are gonna read it, and they're either love me or hate me. Cause I was a little hard on it. Cause I tried it. And there's two ways of doing it. First way, I got page load errors. Second way I did it, it doesn't save your data. So once you're in, you're in. Hopefully you get it right, because when you back out, you gotta start back all over. And Candy County, no real change from November's median price, 1.2% increase. First month, year-to-year increase, median prices in several months, okay. And other metrics are down, numbers of homes sold is down 5.5% year over year, days on market is down, that's pretty good. Inventory is down. So the median price increase, okay, so it's gone up. Good. All right, so I analyzed fourplex data. Gosh, and when I first started, you know, there was a fair amount of data, and you could really predict and really see the trends. Lately, because there hasn't been a lot, I mean, January's I had one. So the trailing 6-month average is a number I like to use because it kind of evens out those highs and the lows. Real trend multiplier is, and we're gonna go to the graphs, but it's up to 187, 4.5 cap, 241 per unit is the average. So the fourplex that sold in January, again, not a good time. They listed in probably December, came in low. It's on a bad street in Meridian. It's an older place, had a little bit of deferred maintenance when I went by. And anyway, sold 20 grand below list, 740 grand, not bad. But its performance was not stellar. So average fourplexes, and you can see I have a little trend line there. I mean, I think the trend line tells the story. Lots of ups and downs, but we are continually trend up. Cap rates bouncing around, started climbing, and now we're starting to see them go down. I really thought, so, you know, last year when we saw the single family home sales drop, struggling to sell, we didn't see it in the fourplexes, and I was like, well, it's coming. But we had so little inventory that it just never happened, and I kept waiting for it to happen, and it doesn't. And every time everybody says, hey, what do you predict, Tony? I'm like, well, my crystal ball broke, and every time I make a prediction, I'm wrong. And but I said, if I had a feeling, I think we're gonna see fourplexes go down.
What about these thousands of?
Yeah, There's a slide that talks about it, like on the rental side, they're not seeing it affect them yet. Because they're expensive. And so your older existing stuff can compete. And that's what we found, I mean, gosh, years ago, decades ago, I remember they built this brand new gigantic apartment complex in southeast Boise, close to a bunch of properties I had. And I was worried, I'm like, gosh, that's a lot of property close by, but their rents were here. We were actually able to increase our rents because of them. Because it just looked that much more affordable compared to them. And I was all worried that it was gonna affect us, and it didn't.
On fourplexes, are they building any new fourplexes? You know, everything is 50 or up or something.
Yeah, gosh, they haven't been, but there's a couple, but
Who's building fourplexes?
yeah, well, this guy. I don't know where he got his license, but it's Tim the Toolman Taylor building. Not two fourplexes I would recommend. Yeah, they're a little rough. So our gross rent multiplier trend there. And okay, so active fourplexes, this is in Ada County. Look at those prices. Sure seems high.
But that one in Cuba. That was so much lower than
I didn't look at how many days on market. it
smaller
has.
square footage.
Pretty small, 3,200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you guys have any interest in any of these, all you gotta do is email me. I'll pull up all the information. If you need a performer, I'm happy to work on it. I know Stacy, as she sees some of these build performers. Like, when she was working on this presentation, I know that she started calling the people on the Canyon County fourplexes, getting some information. So there's the Canyon County ones. Look at that, 1.5. A little over 1.4. 2,400 per year for the 600 annual per door, so 2,400 per year. That's pretty typical, honestly, that doesn't sound bad. And Ada, Canyon County 5+, if you're looking for something a little bit bigger. All right, so first rate, provide a little market update. They say it's holding steady for now. Rents are staying put, which is kind of what you and I were talking about, Tom. I agree to that. I don't think now's the time to be pushing rents. And here they say they're not feeling the pressure of the new units yet because of their price. I don't know how many of those new, I haven't been following it, how many of those new projects. I know they started delaying them. And I don't know how many just, they said, like they said, never mind. I have a project that I started, gosh, in 2020. And we're not going anywhere with it. So not yet. We'll see what happens.
Have you started to build or you just haven't started?
We got the land and we got some preliminary approvals, and then when it came to the official approvals, things weren't going so well. Development. I always said, oh, I'm not gonna ever do it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, look at the opportunity here. This looks like a slam dunk. And all it's done is slam dunk my money elsewhere.
What about the new zoning? Does that help you?
Well, this is up north. I just had this great idea of offering what I call workforce housing. They don't like to hear that because that sounds slummy, but affordable housing for the workforce. Right in downtown, but they don't want it. They'd rather bust the workforce.
Is that McCall or Donald?
Yeah. And rent prices for single family homes seem to be dropping. I own a number of single family, and that's been my experience on all my single family. When we were under construction, I mean, we started going into we started selling a lot of single family because there wasn't the multifamily there. Or what was there based on the rents and the price, the performance wasn't there. And so we started doing some single family. And we were working off of this rent number. By the time it was built, the rent was here. And then, oh my gosh, we found out that we weren't the only ones that found value in this. So as it was closing, we found out that there's a lot of non-owner occupied purchasers. And so the immediate market caused the rents to come down a little bit more. And so here's NARPM's data. So NARPM, National Association of Residential Property Managers, they have a chapter here in Boise, and they do all these surveys for rents and, you know, and if you guys want a copy of the PowerPoint, I gotta just email me and I'll get it to you. So 2 bedrooms are showing in, okay, Ada County is blue, Canyon is red. I don't know how big it is on your screen, but it's pretty, oh, you can see that probably. My screen is really small. So they're just showing what those average rents are based on that survey. One of the things that NARPM did, and I don't remember exactly why, but these rents reflect what they have in inventory, not necessarily what they're offering today. So it can skew based on where you're at, right? I mean, because if you have somebody that signed a lease 2 years ago at this, and now the market's here, so I think their data is really good for trend analysis, but I wouldn't say, well, I've got a 2-bedroom in Ada County and I probably should get 1425. But a lot of factors, you know, how many baths, newer, older, location. All right, and it looks like Stacy found this really cool rental market data widget on Zillow. So she's providing this link if you want to give it a try. All these automatic valuation things are kind of cool. I think they're a lot, sometimes they're a lot like a broken wall clock, you know, it's right 2 times a day.
Well, that's pretty good.
So this would be something similar to like Rent-A-Meter.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, Renometer, that's been around forever.
What does that mean, warm? Does that mean it's good for the renter? Or the good for
Market
the owner?
temperature is based on changes in renter demand compared to the national average. For example, a hot market has increasing demand. Temperature is based on all bedrooms and all property types.
Is this for Boise though, or?
I don't know. Yeah, it looks like it's based on the URL. It looks like Boise.
Oh, yeah.
Might be something fun to look at. I wrote a blog about Zillow way back when they were first starting, when everything was free. And they actually called me.
Wow.
Yeah. Appreciate you using their name. If you need more information, I wasn't, you know, when they first started coming out, everybody was like, how much is my place worth? And I'm like, well, you know, I spent 2 days looking at things, making adjustments, and I tell them, and then they say, well, give us Zillow says it's worth this. I was like, well, but how are they looking at the differences between all the comparables? Now, there was a Corey Barton subdivision where they were all the same. I think it'd probably be pretty good. You know, if they're all similar construction, similar, right? But in subdivisions where they're not all the same, like, I don't know. And what I think is funny is you list whether it's high or low from their value, it changes the next day. You know,
Yeah.
it could change 40 grand.
Yeah.
So, well, how good was it?
Right.
I'll probably get a call from them again. Hey, remember me? And Boise rental market is warm. She probably got that off. Oh yeah, she's using, this is Zillow Trends right here. So in the last year, rent has decreased by $106 compared to previous. Okay, so median rent, so they're just all types, any rental. Again, probably just a good trend line. I wouldn't put a lot on that median.